It's 7 a.m. and it's your wake-up call. Today we have another exclusive compilation here on Exposure Radio. We will be listening to the top 20 R&B songs of the month.
Intervals and isolated light showers in places, turning cloudy across the southwest Yorkshire with patchy light rain possible, feeling pleasant in the westerly breeze, maximum temperatures of 9 degrees Celsius.
And now to Ukraine. The situation there seems to be only getting worse. Jane Morgan, Exposure's reporter, is in Eastern Europe live via satellite phone. Jane, talk to us about the situation over there.
Thanks, Bill. Yes, the situation is getting worse, and today the Russian Defense Ministry has dismissed all military-to-military engagement.
Just some coffee, darling.
Yes, please. Morning, Ben. All ready for a day of learning?
Yes, Dad.
That's what I like to hear. Thank you. Ah well, I better be off. Mortgage won't pay itself, will it? Thank you. See you later, darling. You be careful walking to school, Ben.
You better hurry up too, you don't want to be late for school, sweetheart.
East Indies by sailing westward, eventually received the support of the Spanish crown, which saw in it a chance to gain the upper hand over rival powers in a contest for a lucrative spice trade with Asia. During his first voyage in 1492, instead of reaching Japan as he had intended, Columbus landed in the Bahamas archipelago.
Excuse me, sir. Where is Miss Bell?
Call me Professor Welsh, Ben. Miss Bell isn't well. I'll be taking your lessons for a while. Ben, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask.
Okay.
Anyway, where was I? Ah, yes. Columbus landed in the Bahamas archipelago at a locale he named San Salvador. Over the course of 3 more voyages, Columbus visited the greater
And keep your hands off.
What's all this for? Either someone's conducting a major chemistry experiment, or this is a serious no-no.
Toto, something tells me we're not in cartoon territory anymore.
What's that funny smell? I hate to suggest this, but my guess would be marijuana. An unlawful substance used to experience artificial highs.
You're acting.
The power.
52 pages of great gift ideas.
The authorities to actually arrest people who have committed these crimes. The reason why these data trawls are so dangerous is it allows really the GCHQ and the authorities in Britain to take out any of their political opponents. I mean, for example, we've seen just over the weekend this guy Laurie Love, who was part of the Occupy movement, arrested, and it looks like he may even be extradited.
Kid's got a one-way ticket to Nowheresville.
Simon suspects drugs.
Oh, my.
Oh, that's bad news. Michael needs our help.
Sir, I have a question. How do we know if what people say happened in history is true?
Now that, Ben, is a good question. We don't, Ben. We really don't know if what we read is true. Those that win the war get to write its history. You have to dig deep to find the truth.
A word, please, Mr. Welch.
Continuously, politicians are unwilling to give up that position of power. They think that that position exists to provide a nest egg.
Gaza is a massacre. Gaza is a massacre. It's murder. What the Israeli government is doing now.
Listen, don't stand for this. You're sitting here like cattle. You have questions. You confront them. They don't want to do it in public.
More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent, and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. Millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people.
There's a time on the way we're living and it's soon to blow. Most of you will die in ignorance because you're too stupid though, but the world around you's been manufactured like the Truman Show. You see the world through a camera lens, you'll only see the big picture when it pans, my friend. Surely the cameramen have the advantage then. Cause puppets edit create meaning to what we see, it ain't sophisticated. Add a voiceover, make new meanings and things can be manipulated. Simple statements ripped and stripped to make things remain asleep and plugged in, you might as well be in the Matrix. Ask questions even though you won't get an honest answer. Stress with the system, that's why I got the ganja. Sat watching, suppressing a lot of anger. Staying surrounded by propaganda. It's controlled agendas, media channels with political parties on the center. It makes me have to tone my temper, cause the news shouldn't be written by people with their own agenda. They want us to have the same beliefs since birth like clone dissenters. We're the clogs that run society, but they want me to run it quietly, subtly buying me and fucking us violently. When they're able to tax air, we won't breathe. Media is someone sees to tell you what you do and don't need. A standalone cause I don't care, bruv. You can create an artist from his dress code to his haircut. An image sold to a name target to leave your brain tarnished and be brainwashed by Little Wayne garbage. Mainstream media warping the minds of youth. They erase the history, so you'll never find the proof of the use of chemical or explosive thoughts. Accuse us of not being patriotic unless we condone their wars. I finally have a voice and I'm getting suspect to your accusations. So stand up if you feel this system has only suppressed your imagination.
Come forward against the world's most powerful intelligence agencies and be completely free from risk because they're such powerful adversaries that no one can meaningfully oppose them.
Not remain where they are. The world has decided they must all come home and that the occupied territories shall be free. Israel is the prior state.
When will we honor the victims and the heroes of 9/11 by finding out who did it? When will they be allowed?
In this world there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls.
The leaders of these religious organisations preach to their congregations about peace, and I find it hard to unclench my teeth because throughout history so many corpses have been left in the name of these higher forces that promoted peace. So how can you justify killing over religious belief? Their actions make me consider there's another motive buried beneath everything they preach and teach to guide you to what they say you should seek. But I'm not asking you to fight the system, but just to listen and maybe expand your vision so you can make an informed decision whether the ones running the country is of any concern for us citizens. And in their eyes are we nothing more than minions, a slave force that exceeds the billions. See, I'm convinced from birth we're made to believe we're free, and I know small-minded people won't agree with me, but that's because the only knowledge of the world they possess is information that's undergone a screening process. We live in a society that promotes freedom of speech, but when controversial information is leaked that was meant to remain discreet and never discussed by people in the streets, our right to express ourselves becomes obsolete. And nowadays, with the majority of the population only paying attention to events mass marketed by a media organisation, it's becoming easier to avoid certain stories unravelling, because if the truth was known to the public, the effects would be damaging. And with the younger generation, social skills declining because they only communicate through typing. Speech has become irrelevant as long as their internet connection's excellent. No concern for facial expression or vocal tones, just remain glued to their phones, removed from the world, idle in their homes. Become the perfect pawns in a corporate game of chess, because the less they know the best. Unable to realise they're being oppressed, as nowadays it's only material objects to which humans seem to show interest. It'll always amaze me how these corporate schemes forever coercing the course of events, cause and effects. Who's to say what's next? What's next? What's next?
It does not make you want to do this to them. It doesn't. Stop hurting these people, man. Why y'all do this to our people? I've been to Iraq 14 months.
Let me tell you, the young people in Egypt have set an example for us. The young people in Egypt have set an example for you. See, that's why this government wants you distracted. You young people.
Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men, with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men.
Do we all actually need to live on a sinking ship? Or should we realise we have knowledge and technology at our fingertips? Stay communicating is simple shit. We keep your head in the sand and continue to dig your pits.
But people need to get a grip and rise like tides to capsize the ship before war and greed become normal to kids, and it's all we see. Why can't we all be free to live in a world we trust those who are supposed to protect us?
Cause police don't protect the peace, they often infect the streets. Keep you from expressing what's deep and use violence to suppress us peeps. So invest in head and shin pads cause they aim for head and knees. Try not to fight back unless necessary, cause peaceful protest will change common opinion eventually.
Showing nothing more than the enemy, enforcing law with lost morality, showing no respect and causing distress to those it's supposed to protect. So hope when we trust them with it's a known fact, some won't hesitate to attack, to turn an innocent heart be flat. It's like the line they shouldn't cross, at times becomes blurred.
So leave the shepherd, make your own path and forget the herd. Make sure you get your message heard, use whatever resources you have to spread your words.
With stories you believe to be wrong, but research your backing is strong, never assume, because with weak arguments the reign of oppression would always presume.
Now bear in mind you're not machines to be used to see profits. It's not easy to take a piece of the earth and make peace on it. If you don't want humanity's dark era to last long, make sure this information is passed on.
To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish.
We need to talk.
Your feeble thoughts got me pacing. Give us dreams of an afterlife and go on waiting. But I'll remain quiet, making observations. A never-ending list of ways to manipulate a congregation in order to suppress the population. Tell them if we don't follow my rules, your soul is lost to Satan. And keep